Boston in the year 2033. A city laid waste, not unlike any city in the world. An estimated 60% of the world's population is either dead or has succumbed to an infection that claims the mind and incites the body to feed. Boston is lost, bombed by its country's government to contain this threat. A threat that has changed humanity as we know it. But humanity still exists, and it is still represented in and around the military cordon quarantine zone of Boston. A place protected by tight security, strict rules, and martial law. When people refuse to cooperate, the consequences are clear. Those within survive on rations supplied by the military. When that's not enough, and that is often, those are supplemented by a black market economy of food and goods smuggled in from the outside. Smuggled by people like Joel. If you enjoy this film, remember to like. If you are not subscribed, make sure you are. And if you are subscribed, consider supporting me on Patreon to help power more films like this. This is a story summary of The Last of Us. Joel awakes from a nightmare. A nightmare that started 20 years ago. In 2013, Joel worked in construction with his brother Tommy and lived alone with his daughter Sarah in Austin, Texas. Joel worked hard, and although time with his daughter was scarce, on the night his world changed, he shared a moment and received a birthday present from Sarah.
You kept complaining about your broken watch. You like it?
A watch he was to keep with him through it all. For 20 years, the only thing he would keep to remind him of her.
Dad? Don't go near the doors. Just stand back there. Come here. Stay back. Don't!
There is something bad going on. You've got to get out of here. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
The infection started in the cities. Hospital admissions rose, or people went home to recover. Then, people started to turn. Joel and Tommy's instinct was that of most. Leave the city and its suburbs and head for seclusion and safety.
There! Hold on! Go!
Look out!
We're gonna need to run. Keep us safe.
Keeping them safe. That is Joel's priority as they look to escape the apocalypse that is engulfing their town. As they break free,
Stop right there!
they come face to face with the military, the only people briefed on the magnitude of this threat.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Sarah. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on.
How does someone survive when all is lost? On the 20th anniversary of Sarah's death, Joel has survived and is surviving now in Boston, working with Tess. Joel and Tess are partners in life and in business. They are smugglers. Joel is able muscle, but Tess, she has the brains and the contacts that have allowed their business to thrive. She is also able to handle herself, arriving back to Joel having been attacked.
Let's find out who they were.
Yeah, Robert fucking sent them.
Robert, a fellow smuggler, is withholding payment on business rendered, a shipment of guns. Joel and Tess have been chasing him for weeks. Seemingly, Robert is trying to get to them first. With a lead on Robert's whereabouts, they head to the old warehouse in Area 5. They head to the wharf where Robert is rumoured to be.
There's our boy.
Working their way towards him, they give chase.
Back! Get the fuck back!
Who has our guns?
It's the Fireflies. I owe the Fireflies.
Let's go find a Firefly.
We won't have to look very far.
The Fireflies are a resistance movement, revolutionaries revolting against a regime that has lost their way. A regime dictating to society a way to eke out an existence instead of empowering society to grow, flourish, and take back a world now lost. Their aim? Cease the military oppression and re-establish an American government that can tackle the pandemic and work towards a cure for the infection. But like the military, they look to take and hold this power by force. The leader of the Fireflies is Marlene.
I paid for those guns. You want them back? You're gonna have to earn them.
The Fireflies in the area have not been having the success against the military they'd hoped. Many of their number have been overpowered and many of their plans have been scuppered. One of those plans requires something to be smuggled out of the city. Marlene is injured, but Joel and Tess have the skills to see the job through.
I gotta move. What's it gonna be?
Arriving at Marlene's hideout,
Fuck away
from her! Hey! Let her go.
She reveals what is to be smuggled.
I got his help, but I can't come with you.
We're smuggling her?
There's a crew of Fireflies that'll meet you at the Capitol building.
How do you know them?
I was close with his brother Tommy.
While Tess verifies that Marlene has the weapons, Joel stays with the girl. The girl's name? Ellie.
You know, I've never been this close to the outside.
Ellie is 14, too young to remember what it was like before the pandemic. She was born in a quarantine zone. This is all she knew. With the merchandise confirmed, they set course across town for the Capitol building.
Who's waiting for us at the drop-off?
She said there's some Fireflies that have traveled all the way from another city. Girl must be important.
As they step outside the zone, watched by military patrol, they find out just how important.
Don't do anything stupid. Turn around, on your knees.
The soldiers scan them for the infection.
Holy shit. Look.
Marlene set us up? Why the hell are we smuggling an infected girl?
Look at this. It's 3 weeks old.
How is she infected but not turned? And what do the Fireflies want with her?
Whatever happened to me is the key to finding a vaccine.
What the hell are we doing here?
What if it's true?
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
Although the Capitol building is in sight, the journey will be treacherous.
What the hell was that?
Traversing the ravaged business district, they meet the owner of those screams. Those infected are no longer human. The infection takes hold and mutates them into myriad forms, all insanely aggressive and will attack on sight. The infection has a name, the cordyceps brain infection, or CBI, a parasitic fungal infection. CBI is transferred by blood and saliva, commonly via bites, but it is also released via spores as the host dies. Ellie is now resistant to both. As they weave their way through the city, they meet more than they had ever expected.
Oh, shit.
Tess, how are you holding up?
Just a bit winded. This will get us to the roof.
They make the last section of their journey in relative safety and arrive at their rendezvous with the Fireflies.
No. Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As far as it needs to go.
Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's.
Tess's life is ebbing away, and in search for her life's meaning, she appeals to Joel to keep the dream of a cure alive by getting Ellie to the Fireflies. With the Fireflies in Boston all but eradicated, Joel's brother Tommy, a former Firefly himself, may be able to make that happen, but they need to get there, and he is in Wyoming. Reluctantly, and in grief, Joel agrees, as Tess stalls the incoming military. Thanks to Tess, they escape through the museum via the city metro to Boston's perimeter.
About Tess.
You don't bring up Tess, ever. You do what I say, when I say it.
Joel cared deeply for Tess, but like with all his grief, he keeps it locked down.
Now, there's a town a few miles north of here. There's a fella there that owes me some favors. Good chance he could get us a car.
That town is Lincoln, and the car will expedite their long journey to Wyoming to find Tommy.
Get off your ass on your feet.
Bill is a smuggling associate and a hardened survivor that knows how to protect himself. With him, they search for a car. They travel through the suburbs, through the high school, but it's in the high school that they meet a creature Ellie has never seen the likes of before. A bloater. This infection attacks the human body in stages. After 1 or 2 days, the face starts to show signs and the host becomes aggressive. These are known as runners. Stage 2 are known as stalkers. After a month of the infection, the host starts to show obvious fungal growth. After 1 year, clickers are the third stage of infection. The fungal growth is so acute that it has enveloped the face. Without eyes, clickers have also developed echolocation abilities to zero in on their prey. Their strength has also increased dramatically.
What the fuck is that?
After up to 10 years of being stage 3, some move to stage 4 and turn into bloaters. Their fungal growth is as hard as armor. They're slow moving but can throw mycotoxin projectiles, and if they catch you, there is no way of escape. With the threat dealt with, they find the car and with the help of Bill, make their escape via Highway 76 en route to Jackson, Wyoming. As they near Pittsburgh, their route is blocked. Instead of tracking back,
Screw it.
Joel elects to press on.
Please! Put your seatbelt on, Ellie.
Pittsburgh is populated by hunters, an extremely organised and aggressive group that have elected to live outside of the quarantine zone, to run their existence their way. They survive by hunting, killing and stripping survivors of possessions and food. Joel and Ellie need to work their way across town to escape. While doing so, they meet fellow survivors seeking a way out of the city.
I'm Henry. This is Sam.
Brothers looking to rendezvous with their group outside the city, and Henry's ultimate goal is to join the Fireflies. They decide to join forces.
After sunset, that's our window. Sneak right past them.
Battered, wet and bruised, they escape the hunters. Their next target is the radio tower for that rendezvous. Both Joel and Henry were glad to see kids being kids, and although treacherous, a fleeting joy punctuated their journey. Nearing the tower, the hunters catch up with them.
Get out!
Joel flanks the sniper and looks to protect his people. The hunters are vanquished at the expense of noise. The infected envelop, but they escape. Barely. Reaching the tower, they rest, tell stories, and wait.
I don't think anyone from my group is gonna show up. Worst part about it all, explaining it to Sam.
They sleep. Ellie wakes her new friend for breakfast.
Sam?
Shit, he's turning! That's my fucking brother!
Sam.
Oh my god.
Joel and Ellie arrive in Jackson County 2,000 miles from where they left the bodies of their friends, both processing it in their own way.
I want to talk about it.
No.
Why not?
How many times do we need to go over this? Things happen and we move on.
As they near their destination, Joel needs to be clinical and dispassionate for what he is about to do.
Ain't no way around. Gonna have to cut through the plant.
In doing so, they meet
Tommy. Holy shit.
Tommy married Maria, and they are part of a settlement 20 families large, surviving and thriving in the wilderness. Joel grabs a moment with Tommy, fills him in on the importance of Ellie, and asks Tommy to take Ellie from him and hand her over to his Firefly contacts. Tommy reluctantly agrees.
It's best this way.
This is Joel and Ellie's last stop together.
I need to talk to Ellie.
Ellie gets wind of Joel's plan, and upset, she flees. Joel and Tommy catch up with her at a nearby ranch.
Running off like that, putting yourself at risk? Do you even realize what your life means?
Well, I guess we're both disappointed with each other then.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you.
As they leave and arrive at the settlement where people survive in relative safety, part of a community, Joel changes his mind.
Where is this lab of theirs?
It's all the way out, University of Eastern Colorado.
Ellie, get off your horse.
Joel will see this through.
How do I find this lab?
It's in the science building. Looks like a giant mirror, you can't miss it.
They find the lab, but no sign of the Fireflies. All that is left is a voice recorder.
You're looking for the Fireflies. They've all returned to St. Mary's Hospital in Salt Lake City.
Is it far?
It ain't close. Horseback. Get down!
Oh, what the fuck are these guys?
Don't matter. We know where to go. Let's get the hell out of here.
They are not the Fireflies, but whoever they are well armed and numerous. With their attackers closing in and Joel almost incapacitated, Ellie takes charge. They escape on horseback, but Joel is in a bad way. Ellie patches him up as best she can, finds supplies to stitch him up at a nearby mall, and as the snow begins to fall, take refuge in an abandoned house. Winter has arrived. Joel is patched up, but infection is setting in. Ellie is out in the surrounding area searching for food and hopefully some antibiotics. She tracks a deer.
Who's there?
Hello? We just want to talk. Name's David. This here's my friend James. From a larger group, women, children. They're all very, very hungry.
Do you have any antibiotics?
They make a trade, meat for penicillin. James heads to fetch it while David waits with Ellie. As they take shelter, infected show up. David and Ellie work together to overcome the onslaught.
Let's head on back. Check on that buck of ours.
As they continue to wait for the antibiotics, the conversation takes a turn.
A few weeks back, sent a group of men out a nearby town to look for food. Only a few came back. They said that the others had been slaughtered by a crazy man traveling with a little girl.
Despite this revelation, David allows Ellie to leave with the drugs. With the clock ticking, she gallops back to Joel to administer the medicine, but David's plan is now clear. They had tracked Ellie to their location. Ellie leaves to draw them away from Joel. David captures Ellie.
Keeping you alive here. There you go.
She wakes to the reality of David's group. They are cannibals, butchering any survivors they can find. But rather than butcher Ellie, David wants to keep her as his pet. As Joel's body starts to react to the drugs, he awakes to find Ellie gone.
Ellie! Where'd she run off to?
With David's group in the area, Joel quickly finds out something is up. He extracts from them Ellie's location and heads off into the increasing snowstorm.
Come on. Let's go!
Ellie's reticence to bend to David's will leaves him with no choice. He will butcher Ellie, as he has done with so many others. But Ellie plays her last card.
I'm infected! Roll up my sleeve.
Ellie breaks free, but in the snowstorm and the unfamiliarity of the environment gets turned around.
You want out? Gonna have to come get these keys.
As a fire breaks out, David gets the upper hand.
Let me tell you something. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Ellie! Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
Oh, baby girl. It's okay.
As spring arrives, so do Joel and Ellie in Salt Lake City. They have been through a lot together, and as their journey's end nears, Ellie is not herself. Maybe it's the trauma she's been party to, or the apprehension of what meeting the Fireflies will entail.
You gotta see this.
What the hell is...
Before they embark on the last few hundred meters to the hospital, they share a moment together.
We don't have to do this. You know that, right?
After all we've been through, it can't be for nothing.
While attempting to reach the hospital via a tunnel, Joel's footing gives way.
Hands in the air!
Welcome to the Fireflies.
And Ellie?
She's all right. They brought her back.
Marlene had all but given up hope of ever seeing Ellie again. Now with Ellie in hand, the dream of a cure is back on track.
Take me to her.
You don't have to worry about her anymore.
Let me see her, please.
You can't. The doctors tell me the CORDYCEPS, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
Once surgery starts, Ellie will not wake up again.
There is no other choice here.
As Joel is to be ejected from the building, he presents another choice.
I say keep walking. Where?
Top floor.
After all they have been through, Joel's connection with and affection for Ellie is so profound, he has no other choice than to get her out. Despite the wider significance, he can't lose Ellie like he lost Sarah all those years ago.
Sweet Jesus.
What are you doing?
Oh, shit.
Heading for the basement parking, he is met by Marlene.
It ain't for you to decide.
It's what she'd want. And you know it.
He knows he can't leave her there.
You just come after her. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. Ain't done him a damn bit of good, neither. They've stopped looking for a cure.
Joel needs to sell Ellie this lie in order to keep her safe. He takes Ellie back to Tommy's settlement in Jackson for a life. Joel hopes a great life. And although excited, Ellie is deep in thought. She needs to know for sure.
Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
Press like if you did, subscribe if you are not, and if you are, take a look at my Patreon page to help power more films like this. I'm the Patient Wolf, and this has been a story summary of The Last of Us.